Okay, what's up, everybody? We're here with Mostdope, live from Splash, and we're joined by IDK. Thank you very much for coming. How are you?
I'm well, man. A little bit of a long drive from here to Amsterdam, but I slept the whole time, so I'm good.
Sounds good. Yeah, you did your first show from your world tour there yesterday, right? How did it go?
It was good, man. Well, we actually did Zurich like a couple days before that, and it was crazy to me to see people in Zurich turning up and partying and coming to see me, man. That was a very humbling experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it must have been pretty difficult, like after 2 years of, I don't know how many shows you were able to do. How does it feel to be back on stage now?
It feels good. I've been back on stage for a while now. Since like end of maybe 2020, we've been doing shows again. So I think so. Don't quote me on that, but at least 2021 for sure. Right. So yeah, it's been a while. I'm used to it again.
Okay, yeah. I guess, I don't know, there haven't been many shows in Germany. I guess it's been a bit different over here. But in Germany, and I guess overall, like in the past 2 years with at least less shows, many people were able to focus on music quite a bit, and you've kept a really strong release schedule as well, like, releasing 2 solo projects since 2020 and IDK and Friends too. Has any of your process changed ever since like things have started opening back up again?
No, I probably a little bit more go with the flow, maybe. Like I make shit and just like it just happens, most of the time. I just get in the studio and don't have an idea of where I'm gonna go, and things come out of that. But I think at the end of the day, it hasn't changed much. Yeah.
All right, sounds good, man. And now you're here, man. That's crazy. And let's talk about locations for a bit, because that plays a big role in your new album on Simple, where you talk about Simple City in DC and your area in general. And to me it was interesting because the DMV, so DC, Maryland, Virginia for our Germans watching here, hasn't always been known for like hip hop and stuff, but now we've got Wale, Rico Nasty is going to be playing here as well next week. How does that make you feel, to be one of these faces that are pushing the music area in this area then?
I mean, I feel good, I think it's important to show the diversity in rap where we're from, and I definitely am one of the big representations of that. But there's so many artists that are doing their thing out there that are on the come up that I think are gonna make a lot of waves in the future and handle a lot of like what's needed to actually create the right musical ecosystem. So there's a lot.
Yeah, that's true, and I guess things are opening up like in general as well, with music being mostly dealt with digitally as well. Do you feel like it makes do you feel like it matters more or less, in a kind of digital age of music where you're from for an artist?
I think in the digital age of music, I think everything matters more, because every piece of information, the way it transfers or translates through the world it's a lot more sensitive, in the sense of it's so much easier for things to go viral, and a message to be spread worldwide because of what we have in the digital age.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, you've just released your newest album, produced by Kaytranada, called Simple, as I said. And on that album, you talk a lot about Simple City, the area you grew up in and you still, I guess, spend a lot of time in. And you recently talked to Ebro about that and said that your biggest passion in music is actually teaching. And you found like music as a vessel to do that. Given that you still spend a lot of time there, do you sometimes struggle with your role, coming back to Simple City, and trying to get your message across there?
Well, I'm not from Simple City. Simple City is the area close to the area that I'm from.
Right.
So in the general area that I'm from includes Simple City, but Simple City is a specific neighborhood where a friend of mine is from. And I don't have really any struggles when I go back. It's more about me trying to take the perspective that I have in the world and bringing it to the people in Simple City and PG County, Maryland, and other parts of DC in general. So for this album, it was specifically based on a story of someone that I knew from Simple City, but in general, perspective from the outside world is what I gather, and then I bring that to the people in the DMV area.
Yeah, and so it's interesting to me because you're telling the story, you know, and you're talking about that with taco and dog food, you know, incorporating terms used in the area and in the language, trying to replicate that as well. And it's also the first time that you've worked with one producer exclusively on an album. So how did Kaytranada and you know, when you came together, decide, or how did this concept then came up for you to be focusing on this area?
I think I started recording in the DC area when me and Kay said, "Oh, let's try to put together a project." And then, and because I started there, I said, you know, I think the juxtaposition between the lyrics that come from being in these areas and the Kaytranada beats could create something that's really interesting, that is original. And my whole thing with this last project was creating as much originality as possible in hip hop.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can hear that. Obviously, I mean, you've definitely found your own sound already, and I think you've kind of expanded on that on Simple as well. Recently on Twitter, you said that there's people who make, I think it was, what was it? Great music, cool people music, or both music. So, what kind of music do you want to make, and what kind of music do you think you're currently making? Like,
I think I make both people music. I think that, you know, in general, like who I actually am, what I stand for, what I do, I think that shit is cool. You know, I think that from a taste perspective, a lot of people respect kind of how I move and what I do. But I also make music that is good in the sense of I understand and I study music enough, and I feel like I have enough of a musical ability to try to strive for greatness and at least graze it, you know what I mean? And I work with people that I know are great, you know what I mean? And even people that are great that work with me or know of me or tell me that I'm doing that kind of helps me believe that what I'm doing is great. So, you know, I think that's how I would look at that.
and you have any idea of where to go next? I mean, some of your fans are saying like they want an R&B album next or something like that, you know, even more melodic perhaps.
Yeah, I think melody is where I shine when it comes to originality, and I wanted to explore that path a little bit more. Yeah.
All right, interesting. Yeah, so I think it was when you released your See Yourself, Pharrell said about that album that your goal was to move waistlines, and I think for Simple that's perhaps to an extent even more the case.
Yeah, for sure. I think about women when I make my music, no matter what genre, no matter what I'm saying, no matter how hard I'm rapping, I still just think about women because for me, I've always been able to impress guys and my friends and things like that. But I'm like, if I automatically do that, I wonder what a woman would like. You know, I love seeing women be entertained by music. I love seeing how women consume and support music. So for me, that's always the goal. It's like, all right, like I know that guys gonna like this because of what I'm saying, but how do I make it more like friendly for a woman to dance to it if she doesn't want to pay attention to the lyrics as much? You know what I mean? Like, or how does she have a good time with her friends? Or is she gonna get ready to this song in the mirror? You know what I mean? So I think about all of that now with my music.
All right, interesting. And I'm guessing like women are being represented much more in hip hop in general. You know, have you noticed like a difference? Because I'm guessing, you know, if you're focusing more on that, catering towards women's interests and women's whatever, you know, what they're looking for in your music. Have you noticed like a difference in your audience over the years? I mean, because you've been releasing music for a while now.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot more women that are supporting what I do and love what I do. And quite frankly, they support it better than some of the guys. Yeah, but yeah, I'm seeing that.
Like, in what way is supporting it better? You mean?
They're the first to buy the tickets
Right.
when the tours go on sale. You know, they tend to like plan their shit a little bit better than us. You know what I mean? So they're usually that. They're usually the ones riding for me the hardest. They're usually the ones creating the fan groups and consistently organizing that. So, you know, obviously anyone can do that. You know, I'm not saying that's only women, but my experience in my fan base is seems to be what it is.
All right. Okay. Cool. So, and let's talk about this. You know, dancing to music and being able to dance to music and make music that it's inviting that. Do you think that's lacking sometimes in hip hop currently? You know, that people make danceable albums or music in general.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people don't explore that as much. But, you know, it's a place and a time for all kinds of music. So it just depends on what you want to make and what's your wave and how you want to impact people with that wave.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think on one of your shows you said, though, that, you know, now that you have to, or will perform some of these songs from Simple, it's quite a challenge because you have to know how to dance as well. Have you, like, settled into a routine or anything like that yet?
Hell no. I don't dance good at all. The best... Like, I have like a dance that I did in a taco video. I'm trying to perfect that on stage. Maybe I'll do it tonight. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. I mean, it's a work in progress. I mean, the tour's going on for a while, so maybe able to work on that, I guess. And I'm guessing in general, like rap audiences, you know, they're not known for like a great variety of dance moves. So how is the response, you know, because you've got to perform, I guess, some of the songs yet, you know, when you perform them on stage?
It's fine. I love it. People like are jumping around and doing their version of dancing to the music and singing the lyrics or whatever. So I love it, you know.
Yeah. A lot of mosh pits as well, because that's what's happening here all the time. It's Flash, it's a thing.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. We'll see how that goes. But yes, that's mosh pits. I had a couple of them already, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. It'll happen, I promise you, man. All this weekend, that's all we've seen, man. Yeah, sounds good. Do you have any more words for your German community, perhaps, or your fans here?
I'll be back in the fall in Berlin.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know if there's another show in Germany, but I know Berlin for sure, and I can't wait to see y'all.
Sounds good, man. It's been a pleasure to see you. Yeah. Thank you very much. And you'll be on stage as well later, so good luck for that. Hope you enjoy it. Yes. And yeah, see you soon, man.